Freakonomics Radio is supported by Spotify, who's making it easy for you to stream this podcast and many others like it on your mobile device, desktop app, and smart speaker. Just open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on the Browse channel, then click on the podcast section. Stay entertained with Spotify today. Kobe, can you just count to 10 in your microphone?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Maggie, do the same or say anything you want. He just needs to get a level. Just keep talking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'd like you to meet Takeru Kobayashi, known as Kobe, and his translator, Maggie James. I was asking Kobe about his favorite foods.
ヨーグルト豆腐かな
You mean that yogurt and tofu?
Yogurt and tofu. What kind of tofu?
いや、すごいソフトで
Soft one.
What's your favorite kind of steak? Or
Filet.
Filet? You like filet, no fat. You like lean.
メインだね、そうだね。
What's your favorite fish?
フィッシュ。サーモン好きだけどね。
Salmon?
サーモン。
You like the skin or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite fruit?
もうイチゴだよね。ストロベリー。
Strawberries? How do you feel about hot dogs?
今の時期あんまり考えたくない食べ物だけどね、本当は。
During this time, it's actually the time that I don't want to think about hot dogs that much.
From WNYC, this is Freakonomics Radio, the podcast that explores the hidden side of everything. Here's your host, Stephen Dubner.
Takeru Kobayashi doesn't like to think about hot dogs much right now because he's preparing to eat a very large pile of them. Not for pleasure. This is what he does for a living. In the world of competitive eating, as the sport is known, Kobe is the biggest star that has ever been.
Maybe.
Yeah. It began back in Japan. He was a college student at the time, studying economics. A friend signed him up for a televised eating contest.
びっくりしたよね。自分ではね、そんな
I was really shocked because at that time, I really didn't think that I could eat that much more than a normal person.
But he gave it a try, largely because of the prize money. $5,000 for first place. It was a 4-stage eating contest, starting with boiled potatoes and then a seafood bowl, Mongolian mutton barbecue, finishing up with noodles. Your competitors were also amateurs, right? They weren't professionals?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So did you think you had a chance?
Yes.
Because why? What did you think that you could do better than the other amateurs? Was it mental or physical or strategic?
まあでもトータルだろうね。
Total, I thought I could. Somewhere in between, maybe a
フ
mixture.
ィジカルで考え方をす
There
る
were
よね。
players that were much bigger than I was physically, even in Japan. So I didn't think that it could be, just a physical thing. It had to be total mental and physical.
Kobe studied earlier contests like this one with qualifying stages. He saw that most people went so hard in the early rounds that even if they did advance, they didn't have the energy or the stomach capacity to finish strong. So he decided to eat just enough at each stage to qualify for the next, and when it came time for the final round, he blasted past the others and he won. Having tasted victory as an amateur competitive eater, Kobe immediately thought about turning pro. Now, the World Cup of Competitive Eating, as you probably know, is held every summer in New York City.
And only one location at the corner of Surf and Stillwell Avenues at Nathan's Famous. And why do they come? They come for the Nathan's Famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest!
At home in Japan, Kobe began to train for Coney Island. American-style hot dogs were not available where he lived, so he used sausages made of minced fish. No hot dog buns either, so he cut bread down to size. He took his training seriously, very seriously. He began a long series of experiments. For instance, ripping the hot dog and bun in half before eating it, a move that would come to be known as the Solomon method, after the biblical story of King Solomon, who threatened to settle a maternity dispute by slicing a baby in 2 pieces. The Solomon had been done before or no?
それはないだろうね。
No.
No. He found another way to speed things up.
セパレートにしたことかな。
Separating the sausage from the bun.
Yeah.
でもってあとはその
Also eating hot dogs 2 at a time. I don't mean 2 sticks of the same. I mean breaking one in half and eating 2 halves.
The sausage itself, being slick and dense, actually went down pretty easy. But eating a hot dog bun on its own, without the meat, is harder than you'd think. How hard? You may have heard of the Saltine Challenge. Well, next time you want to win a bar bet, try the hot dog bun challenge. See if you can get somebody to try to eat 2 hot dog buns in 1 minute with no beverage. Here, listen to our Freakonomics Radio production team try it. This is David Herman doing the eating, with Greta Cohn, Susie Lechtenberg, and Greg Rosalsky providing commentary.
Okay, I'm ready.
And go.
Oh yeah, I guess try.
So he's got half of a bun in his mouth.
35 seconds to go.
Swallow it.
I was so confident.
4, 3, 2, 1, and it's over.
Put down the bun.
Not even one.
I feel like, yeah, not even one.
Wow.
I am ashamed.
So, to fight the dry bun problem, Kobe came up with a novel solution.
ダンキングだね。
Dunking.
That's right, dunking. As he fed himself the bunless, broken hot dogs with one hand, he used the other hand to dunk the bun in water. Then he'd squeeze out the excess water and smush the bun into his mouth, kind of like a bun ball. Not only did this make eating faster, but now he didn't have to take time out between dogs to drink water. So breaking, separating, dunking. What about the shake?
シェイクもやるね。シェイクもやる。
でもその前には見たことなかったですか？
ないね。俺はないね。
I
自
had
分でやっ
never
てた
seen
から
that
ね。
before. I think that was
誰か
my
やってた
thing.
かもしれないけど。
Maybe somebody was shaking, but I didn't. I had never seen that.
This became known as the Kobayashi shake.
Successfully. Kobayashi now, look at him shaking almost like Axl Rose on the stage of the Garden. You see the wiggle get there for Kobayashi. Just kind of moving it around like someone put an ice cube down your back. Look at that Kobayashi shake. Chugging those hot dogs like a freshman at a keg party. It's unbelievable.
Kobe videotaped his training sessions. He charted all his data and analyzed it. He wanted to find out what worked, and just as important, what didn't work. At one point, he thought he should chew each dog very vigorously, but he realized this not only took too long, but it was also bad for his jaw. He was tireless in his experimentation. Why do you think others before you hadn't experimented so much?
本気じゃないってのが一番あるんじゃないかな。
Maybe because they're not as serious as I am.
そういうこと言うとね。
Maybe that's the only honest answer.
How did you get so serious?
なんかね、自分でやってて、スポーツだなと思って、これで世界一になりたいなってすごく本気で思ったね。
Simply that when I tried it, I thought the physical action felt like this is a sport.
A sport. And nobody had treated it like a sport before.
And I simply wanted to be number one in the world at this.
No offense, but you sound crazy. It sounds nuts.
ごめんなさいけど、これ初めて聞いた人はあなたのこと crazy nuts だって思うからね。
And I say that with all due respect because you know how much I love you and respect what you've done. But what I mean by this is you are bringing a level of scientific inquiry to an activity that nobody had bothered before. That's what I mean by nuts. So did you think it was nuts or did it make perfect sense to you?
なんか今そうやって言われて、
now I guess I'm a little older and more mature now, because now I can hear that and actually say like, oh, and laugh with you. But at that time, there was definitely not even a speck of me that would have thought that that was nonsense.
Yeah.
It just made sense.
Coming up on Freakonomics Radio, how does Kobe do at the Coney Island hot dog contest?
Kid is incredible. A total beating of the Americans. He was like a conveyor belt. He was just putting them in 2 at a time.
And assuming that you are not interested in following Kobe's footsteps specifically, is there something more general that can be learned from his mastery of competitive eating?
I
think the thing about human beings is that they make a limit in their mind of what their potential is, and they decide that, well, I've been told this, or this is what society tells me, and this is what, or they've just been made to believe something.
And one more thing, if you don't already subscribe to Freakonomics Radio, I think you should. It's free. Sign up at iTunes, and you will get the next episode in your sleep.